Hi there, this is AM the Ocarina player, killing mosquitoes. No, actually, this is a Kalanchoe Care episode. This is going to be my first attempt at a fiddle. What are they called? Basically, you have a whole bunch of different plants in a pot, make it look fancy. That's what I'm gonna try and do. Succulent arrangement, they're called. Right, that's what they're called, succulent arrangements. In the meantime, really fast, I'll take you for a quick walkthrough of my plants. There's actually been some quite very interesting developments here recently. Just let me switch the camera. Alrighty, as we can see, don't mind me, I'm just killing more mosquitoes. I did light a coil, but it takes a little while for that to kick in. Anyway, yes, my poor jade, a lot of these plants have been very badly sunburnt. I used to keep an umbrella out here, but, well, Saskatchewan prairie winds dictate otherwise. Let's see, that, which is making a flower head. This is actually what a hen and chick's flower head looks like, which is a real shame, because I did buy that, the green spindly thing back there, and this very broccolini type creature. I bought them all from my mom, and they're just more or less awaiting planting. In the meantime, we've been killing ants in the place they're supposed to be going. Anywho, I know, as I said, a lot of stuff is just phenomenally unhappy with the amount of sunlight it's been getting, but they are bouncing back. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a Kalanchoe that color before, but he's still alive and kicking, so I can only assume he's not about to die on me. My jade plant here, my living coral jade plant, is in need of some I'm thinking I'm going to, well, this is all new growth, all this here, that's new. I'm thinking I am going to take some cuttings. And there's my nice lovely orange here, making a bunch of buds, my orange Kalanchoe. My Chinese dunce cap is, I'm sorry, I will still always love that name, Chinese dunce cap. I mean, it looks kind of dead, but it is surprisingly alive and still living. I still don't get it. Ow. Don't mind me, I just kicked myself. Figure that out. My Graptopetalium paraguanes is doing quite happy. It's flushed this absolutely bizarro purple color. I just love it. And look at that, way down in the bottom, look at that. The stupid camera doesn't want to focus, hang on. Look at that, it's indeed growing more. It's gonna grow a second plant. I'm so happy, so excited. I'm so glad that this strange spindly thing decided to want to live. Speaking of strange spindly things, this was a plant my sister's boyfriend gave her as a present. The poor, sad, decrepit thing. I'm gonna try and do something to revive it. I might put it into the succulent arrangement that I'm gonna make very shortly. My blue chalk stick is a little wonky. I think I might make it into cuttings too. My burro's tail, very, very decrepit and unhappy. I mean, the fact that this giant tomato plant is marauding it doesn't help. My crown of thorns, sorry, I'll straighten the camera. My crown of thorns, this thing started out that tall as a cutting. A year later, it's about 7 inches tall, and it has been making branches. I am so happy. Ooh, look at that, look at that. Ooh, great googly moogly goodness, it's gonna make some more blooms. It makes blooms very periodically for me. I'm sure I've taken pictures of it before. There's my peach sedum. I forget what the full name of it is, but it's a kind of a crawling peach thing. It tends to sunburn pretty hard, but it's also shockingly hardy. I know it's technically a crawling plant, so I mean, I prefer having a chopstick in there just for support. There's that poor wonky thing back there. It used to be a nice tight rosette, but over a Saskatchewan winter, which for us lasts about, 8 months, it's very badly stretched, but it's making lots of babies, so I'm thinking it's going to be time for some pruning. Snip, snip! And this, as always, my annual bowl of jade plant cuttings. They're so fun to give away to friends. Now this, actually, is probably my crowning achievement. This red flower Kalanchoe was in reality a cutting made from one of my very first Kalanchoe plants after the massacre with the aphids about 2 years ago. It finally bloomed for me, so this is in fact basically a cutting from one of my very first plants. And that to me is just absolutely overwhelmingly cool. I'm so happy and excited. In other news, my other red, that I'm sure there's pieces of it there in the lawn, it rotted and died and, like, not very happy. Anywho, I'm going to switch the camera again, and I am going to take a stab at this succulent arrangement thing, and hopefully it won't suck. Pun intended. Alrighty, time to take a stab at the proverbial cat, or I suppose take a kick at the proverbial cat. I know a lot of people for making succulent arrangements tend to use really fancy clay bowls. I don't like doing that. You know why? Clay breaks. Plastic? Not so much. So anyway, the first thing I do is I usually line it with really big rocks. Why? Because you want there to be some adequate air drainage through the bottom. Anyway, I never properly introduced who all is going to be going into this. We have some watch chain succulent. No idea what the scientific name of it is, but I absolutely love it. This is an aeonium pinwheel. A little on the crooked side. I'm sure I can just plant it a little deeper and it'll be okay. And these, I don't know what the hell these are, but I love them. They're so cute, but they're horribly sun-stretched, so I have no idea how they're going to fare. They should be okay, presumably, but we're gonna try. Anyway, for me, I just prefer using standard issue cactus mix. I know they don't pay me to use this stuff. Heck, I don't get paid for any of this. It's all just a fun hobby. I always kind of like adding in a little bit of stuff that's got some perlite in it, because that also helps to lighten up the dirt a bit. This is also cactus mix here. Just harvesting it from a plant that died. Wahahaha. Okay, we need more dumb bugs. Go away. I just really don't want to have to open up another bag. There we go. Be reassured there's going to be a good bit of editing of all this footage. Okay, once we start getting down to the rocks, we know that we're deep enough in the pot. I love having big floofy skirts. They help sweep away the mosquitoes from your feet. Alrighty. I don't know where my friend got this absolutely minuscule pot plant, but I love it. It's just so funny. Okay. As always, try and get off as much of the excess dirt as you can. Usually I would be using a chopstick for something like this, but my hands are dirty anyway. Now, as always, the challenge with doing stuff like this, you want to figure out first, where are you putting stuff? I unfortunately am not quite as well psychologically prepared. And this has no drainage hole in it, so these guys are going to be happy for some new dirt indeed. Get off my toe, mosquito. There we go. Ooh, nice roots. Nice healthy roots. Generally, for tall stuff, you always want to put it more to the back. And that's what we're going to do. And always, as you go, tamp it down, get the air out. Alright, now for giggles. I've got no idea what this thing is, but there's 3 individual plants in here, so I think I'm going to take the 2 eensy beensy ones here. I don't think my sister's going to notice. There we go. Even if you gotta pop a few roots loose, that'll be okay. Besides doing this, it does give you an opportunity to clean off anything that is dead, sad, and wrinkled on the underside, and you can bury it really nice and deep. Ooh, look at that! This one's got babies! It's got little root cuttings there. Awesome. I'm just going to leave those right where they are. Whoop. Broke one. Strike one. I think we're just going to stick this one here. Don't be surprised if you're going to have to bring more dirt in. That one had quite a long root on the end. It's probably made from a cutting. Try not to knock too much in the way of dirt up inside the leaves. But I'd be happy to knock these mosquitoes in the next week. Yeah, got you. For giggles, while I'm way back over here, I'm going to take one of these here jade cuttings. 3 weeks. 3 weeks, and look at the rootage this plant hath wrought. Very nice. And we're going to scoot those two guys over there. This little guy we're just going to stick right back there, just see what he does. Yeah, don't be afraid to grab and give the plant a little bit of a shake, because that helps to get dirt down underneath the airspace. Nobody ever said plant work was clean. As for these little jujubes, what do we do with you? There's one. There's two. Not sure where the third one went. There we go. Where did the third one go? There you are. This guy's pretty dried up. I'm not holding out much hope, so we're just going to stick him right there next to his sibling. Should be okay. Now this guy here is kind of the oddball. Honestly, I don't know if it's alive or not. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is pause, get myself some scissors, trim it up. Ooh, look, a random leaf. Let's just stick them in there and see what happens. Yeah, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to whack this guy up and put some root hormone on him, see what happens. Okay, after some thought, I decided against it. I mean, I'd really like to, but I honestly don't think he's going to have enough juice for that. So we're probably just going to take our finger, really stick it in there, and we're going to stick this guy in there. The one thing that I've never liked about decorative arrangement bowls is things tend to get really tight, and you're almost always knocking other stuff over. Fortunately, succulents are pretty darn tough. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you can go over it with decorative rocks if you want. Me, I think I just might do that. And there you go. That's pretty much it. I will try very hard and give updates as to how this thing plays out in the coming weeks or months. Anyway, this has been AM the Ocarina Player with another edition of Kalanchoe Care. Thank you so much. And really, for anybody who contributes to the huge outpouring of views on my blog, you guys have no idea how much that means. Means somebody out there cares about what I do and has an interest in it. Thank you so much. God bless. Later.